Hi everybody, I'm Marc Laurenson, and we're continuing on with the South Node through the Sign series. And in this episode, it's episode number 9. We're going to be looking at the South Node in the sign of Sagittarius. So when I get clients with the South Node in Sagittarius, I generally find that they surround themselves with people, generally family and partners, and occasionally friends, who are always telling them what to do and how to live their lives. Now, this is really interesting because when you think of the South Node in Sagittarius, you're thinking of somebody who was defined by a belief system of sorts. This could have been a cultural law, or it could have been a faith, or it could have been just a way of life. And the best way for me to put this in a picture is religion. Because all through history, and even now to a certain degree, religion had an incredible power over people. And most people followed a religion to a certain degree. And this meant that these people didn't actually think for themselves, so to speak. They were just told what to believe by the religious hierarchies, or through the Bible or the Quran, or whatever belief system they adhered to. And so it was all about dogma and doctrine, extreme wrongs and rights, goods and bads, very self-righteous, that kind of thing. And so you had to live up to a certain standard based on what other people believed in. Now, these people in a past life could have been active in this area, but I find most people that I do readings for, I find that this was very, very challenging for them in a way, because I feel that this was forced upon them, so to speak. There could have been people who were in a religion that they didn't necessarily agree with, or they might have been slightly different, trying to fit into another person's religion, that kind of thing. And so to figure all that out, you're going to be looking at all the other planets involved in the chart, in the nodal story, so to speak. So you're going to be looking at Jupiter, aren't you, as the ruler of the South Node, where it's placed by sign and by house. You're also going to be looking at any aspects to the South Node and to Jupiter, especially the hard ones, the oppositions and the squares. They're going to be telling you the challenging areas that may have come up. And of course, you're going to be looking at the house that the South Node is in, too. So they are going to be playing into the actual story to give you more specifics. Now, if you're looking at a particular person, a South Node in Sagittarius person could be a traveler, a person who migrated from country to country, a foreigner. If you want to bring religion into it, could have been a missionary, that kind of thing. There's also the student with a South Node in Sagittarius, the person who was questing for meaning in life, higher education. They could have been religious students. So you get a feeling of all the Sagittarian archetypes as the kind of person that they were as well. But I want to come back to this, to the South Node in Sagittarius on the level of faith, and I want to talk about blind faith, because Sagittarius is a sign when it goes down the darker road. The choices made go down a darker road. It's a feeling of not questioning anything, and just believing in something, and often being taken for a ride, so to speak, or often being disappointed by people who talk them into things, especially around possibilities and promise. Now, when you're looking at the South Node, you're going to be looking at it in context to the North Node, because the North Node, of course, is going to be in Gemini. And so Gemini is looking at what's there. Gemini is about our curiosity. Gemini is about questioning. And so this is everything that was lacking with the South Node before. So Gemini sees everything as a witness, so to speak. It has no spin. It sees everything from a variety of different angles. And it just, as I said, it just takes in the information. Gemini likes the facts and figures. Gemini likes things to make sense. Gemini likes things to work out in a way where it can see where things are coming from. Now, the South Node in Sagittarius didn't have this. The South Node in Sagittarius just bought something hook, line, and sinker. And so you see these people that come in with the South Node in Sagittarius may find it challenging this lifetime to have their own mind, to question things, to bring things into rationale, to actually go, hey, I don't agree with that, or I don't believe in that. That's why, as I said at the beginning of this YouTube clip, I said that they often get talked into things, or people tell them how to live because they're still got the residue from the past life where they were run by those kind of people. Now, in this particular lifetime with the North Node in Gemini, they need to be able to, in their own way, come into conversation. They need to be able to discuss things. They need to be able to question and answer. They need to be able to listen, and they need to be able to come up with their own ideas. Now, as I said, the South Node in Sagittarius doesn't get thrown out. The South Node in Sagittarius gets replanted. And it gets replanted by giving more emphasis to the North Node in Gemini. So by doing this, we're looking at basically what we're doing now, because we're talking about something on a bigger picture level. We're talking about something that has meaning in our lives. We're talking about a particular belief that we have. And I'm bringing it down into workable, hands-on, communicative, understandable form. I've always questioned astrology. I've never been one of these astrologers that have bought anything hook, line, and sinker from what I read. I've always made sure that it has made sense in my life, in my chart, in the chart of my clients, in the chart of everybody else's that I've played around with, and I've had to make it make sense to me. And so for me, bringing these two together, I don't have the South Node in Sagittarius, but I do have it in the 9th house. So I do have this as part of my makeup. And so for me, bringing these two together have allowed me to actually understand things from a much bigger level, but at the same time being able to convey the information and make sense of it.